ladies. This is Lori with Beauty from Ashes with your morning moments. And I'm just going to wait a few seconds to see if anybody might join us today. Excuse me. Can you believe today is the very last day of June 2021? Tomorrow is July 1st. I mean, I can hardly even believe how quick this year has gone, and everything that the Lord has done for me this year. Today, I am going to just kind of tell you about the ministry and tell you how it came about and what God's been doing in it. I just think it's important for those of you who have been kind of following us in Beauty from Ashes that I kind of just share that a little bit. Well, there's a scripture it is in Isaiah 61:3, and it says that he will give them beauty for ashes. And years ago, God had given me a vision of a ministry to minister to women as a whole. We are a three-part being: spirit, soul, and body. And because I'm a nurse, I had seen so many times when a person is not feeling well and they go to the doctor is treating their body and their body only. And as a nurse, I could see how important it is to not only treat the body, but treat the spirit and the soul too. And it took years of studying about the body and studying how the body is connected to the spirit and to the soul, and how all of those are intertwined to have optimal health. And I had prayed about this ministry, about what God wanted me to do about it, and studied the Word and how the Word fit into health and wholeness when it was applied to our body, soul, and spirit. So, and this was years ago, this vision had come to me about starting this ministry. And in April, I applied for a business license under the name Beauty from Ashes Ministries, because there's so many ministries and Facebook groups and Facebook pages and websites that have Beauty for Ashes, and then also Beauty from Ashes. But I didn't want to change the name because I know that God's the one that gave me that. And I know why too, because around a year ago, I realized that everything I looked at and everything I saw, I could say, oh man, that, I didn't want to throw things away. And I was like, I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to use that to make something out of it. And I'm going to, I walked around the beach and picked up a bunch of wood and grass and thinking, I'm going to make a wreath out of this. And I'm going to make something beautiful out of this. And God just spoke to my heart, and he said, that's what he does to our lives. He takes things that have been hard on us. He takes things that crush us, and he takes things that may have seem really bad, and he creates something in it through us and in us to create something beautiful. Not only does he give us beauty from those ashes, as in the same verse, or the next verse, it says, he gives them oil for the joy of mourning. Oil of joy for mourning. A garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. And he plants us like trees by water, where our roots can go down deep and grab a hold and weather any storm that might hit us. If our roots are deep, we can make it. I'll tell you the story, and this story comes to my memory just now. Years ago, I was I was in the woods, and we were camping, and I was sitting on a lounge chair, and I was looking up, and these really, really super tall trees, pine trees. I was watching them, and they were the tips of them were just blowing in the wind. And there had been a storm like maybe several days prior to this. And so there was some of these trees that had been knocked over, and you could see their roots were up out of the ground, and the tree was laying on the ground. And these trees looked really healthy. and they were tall and they were green and they were big. And when I looked up at these tips of these trees and the wind is blowing and it looked like the wind was strong enough to knock over some of these little teeny tiny trunked trees that had little trunks that were really tall. And so as I was looking at that, the Lord just kind of deposited in my heart that those trees are like us, because I was wondering, why did some of these trees fall down and some of them didn't? And that was because of their root system. If their roots go deep, no matter what kind of a wind or storm that comes our way or their way, they're going to stay in the ground and they're going to stay grounded. And so the Lord was just ministering to me through me watching these trees. It's like, people can't really see our root system. So, but when the wind comes and the storms come our way, those of us that have our roots deep in the love of Christ and grounded in his word and grounded in him, the storms of life will only make us stronger. Those root systems will go deeper. And I don't know why I told you that story, but that just came to my mind because we need to be rooted in the word and grounded. But back to my story of beauty from ashes. The Lord will take anything that seems like ashes in our life and he will create something beautiful for it out of that. And, through the time that God had given me the name of the ministry, I registered it as a business in April of 2021. And then it was on the way. I just took one step after another, got on Facebook, invited you guys. God brought into my life Peggy, who has come alongside me, and she's working with me to make this ministry legal and make it right and righteous in God's eyes, that this is going to be a ministry that is long lasting because we are doing it right. Peggy's been such a blessing to me, and I'm so thankful that God brought her into this ministry with me. Through that period of time, though, in the last year, when COVID hit and everybody was home, and I just had lots and lots of battles, lots and lots of hits in my life that I had to get past. And the crafting that God put in my life, the art, because I don't even like to call it crafts, because I believe it's an art that God put in my heart, a gift of an artistic craft that I can take something that is nothing, that is just garbage or that has no meaning to it, and put it together and make something beautiful out of it. And I did this crafting it was like therapy to me. It was like God spoke to me in those times. He put I believe his spirit was upon me, and with that gift, I could just bring forth something that was worth something out of something that was just garbage. It got so bad that I would pick things up off the road and say, oh man, I can do something with that. I wouldn't throw cans away because I thought, oh, I'll make something with that can. And so I have a lot of crafting stuff. And maybe it's stuff that the average person would just say, just throw it in the garbage. And maybe I should do that to some of the things that I've been collecting. But not until the Lord tells me to. Then I'll throw it away. But that is why we have included that into our ministry. We have included doing crafts and craftsmanship, maybe not just with creating stuff, but I know some of you are so gifted that God has gifted you in so many areas of singing, poetry, creating with paper, doing sewing and quilting, things that are creative that have come out of our brain because God gave us that gift to be creative. And even if you feel like you're not creative, it's in there because God gave you a gift to create something, even if it is just a good meal. Oh my goodness, some people are just such good cooks. And I hate to say it, but I'm not a good cook. I don't like to cook. I like to eat, as you can see. And that was one thing I did do during this period of time is I ate and I gained a bunch of weight. And, I have not taken that weight off. It's been a real stress for me to look at myself. Even in these tapes, I look at myself and I think, oh my goodness, I need to lose some weight. And I do need to lose weight. To be healthy, I need to lose weight. But that's for another time. And that, I believe, will be fit into this ministry also, is a time where us women get together and talk about health. And that will be a group activity, so to speak, to minister to both our body, as in health, and our soul health. And that's what this crafting did to me. It gave me health in my soul because it was something that gave me joy. And also spirit health. And that is, that's the most important anyway, because our bodies are dying every day, but our spirit is renewed every day. So I just want to encourage you just to keep an eye out on what we have going on in the ministry. This is totally prayer, what do I say? Prayer birthed. Anything that we do is birthed by prayer, whether it's right or wrong, God will tell us. And I just appreciate you watching and any comments that you might have. And God will bring beauty from any of the ashes that you might have in your life. Keep your eyes focused on Jesus and watch for that beauty. Keep in touch with us too. We love you. God bless you, and you have a good day.